Welcome to Truth and Company Boxing Podcast. I'm your host, John the Truth Dioria, and today we have another 20 random questions segment. And your guest today is professional boxer Tyler Hultin. How you doing, Tyler?
Doing well. Thanks for having me, John.
Well, I appreciate coming on. I know some people are excited about having you on. I've already received comments and stuff, so I guess everybody wants to know what you're up to.
Yes.
So I guess I just want to go into right now. You've been out of the ring for a little bit. So do you have any involvement in the sport of boxing at all anymore?
So as of now, I do not. No.
Okay, so you pretty much have closed that chapter, moved on. It was fun. It was part of your life, and now it's something to do, something different, right?
It was a hell of a ride, and I wouldn't trade it for nothing. But yes, now it's on to the new life. You know, what's after boxing?
All right, well, listen, you ready to get into these 20 random questions?
Absolutely, man.
All right, so question one, how did you get involved in the sport of boxing?
Well, it started with, I thought, coming into middle school, grade school, high school and stuff like that. I had a mullet. Yes, I did have a mullet for about 17 years. And I rocked that thing. But, when I got to the older grade and I was the youngest, got picked on a little bit. So I'm just like, I'm not going to stand for that. So I tried wrestling, made it about 2 weeks. And then, boxing was kind of down the road from there. My uncle did it a little bit in the Army. So he's like, I'll come with you. So tried that out. And that's pretty much how I got started. And my parents didn't know about it for like the first month.
Jeez. So now you were in the amateurs for a while. And then what made you decide that you wanted to turn pro, though?
So it was one of those things where I wouldn't say I hit my ceiling, but, I was fighting some of the same guys nonstop. Went to the Golden Gloves every year, went to the Upper Midwest every year, made it to Nationals twice. So I was like, is there something more? And I almost hung it up. I was so close to hanging up the gloves. And Andy Coley invited me out to Duluth for a week. And he's like, why don't you come up here and train, see what it's like on the other side pretty much. So he had a lot to do with my decision kind of going forward, going pro, and then kind of throwing my hat in the ring there. So, and I mean, it was a blast. Absolutely. Training with him, Walters, all those guys up there. I mean, great time.
Okay. Question two, what boxers have inspired you in your career?
So Arturo Gatti is number one all time. I mean, a lot of people saw him as a punching bag, but I just loved his style. Arturo Gatti was one of the best. And then when him and Mickey Ward went back and forth, some of my favorites fights to even go back and watch now. And then Manny Pacquiao, probably one of my punch, pound for pound guys that I like to watch. So.
Okay. Question three, what type of activity do you do that's therapeutic for you?
Golf, baby. Yep. So me and my old man, one of my trainers at the time, after we hung up the boxing gloves, we took out the clubs and we got really involved with golf, a lot of tournaments, a lot of fundraisers and stuff like that. So golf has been very therapeutic.
Okay. Question four, who's your favorite musical artist?
Don't judge me. Eminem. Yep, don't judge me. I mean, I love all genres, but Eminem, I mean, he was just one of those guys that got me hyped for fights, for running, just driving around, So, yep.
All right, question five. Did you have a pre-fight meal that you always had to eat before your fights?
I did. So, pasta the night before and steak and eggs in the morning, always. Yep.
Okay, question six. Who is someone in your life that has inspired you outside the sport of boxing?
I mean, so many people have really inspired me to do stuff, Gosh, that's a very good question. I don't know. Probably my grandfathers, both of them, They're both are the one that's passed away now. But yeah, he's one of those guys that came to every fight, and basketball and stuff like that were his sports. He was very good at that. But when he found out that we were involved in boxing, he was there nonstop, and win or lose, he was always there, and he always gave you that gumption to keep going no matter what. So definitely.
Okay. Question 7. Tell me the craziest or the funniest story that ever happened between you and a boxing fan.
Let's see. Four Bears Casino. We ended up, me and a couple of the guys from Julius went out there to fight, and it was oil rigging days. So everybody was out there and stuff. And we got there, and it was a fan base weigh-in and stuff like that. And everybody's having fun, but I was at that cut line, right there, and we we had to drop trowel, and they were holding the towel for me and stuff like that, and somebody come running around trying to snap pictures as they were going by. So that was probably the craziest one.
They tried. How do you know they didn't get the shot?
I don't know for sure. I never saw it surface anywhere, but.
Oh, great. So we don't know. Someday you might have a dick pic that comes to light?
It's a possibility. I'm not going to say yes or no.
Oh, wow. All right, question 8. Who's the one boxer, alive or dead, that you'd want to sit down and have a conversation with?
How do you narrow down the list, it's so good. Sugar Ray Robinson was probably one of, just seeing his story, reading about him and stuff like that. He'd probably have to be one of them for sure.
Okay. Question 9. Do you fish and hunt?
I fish and hunt, yes, absolutely.
All right, tell me a little bit more about that. What do you fish for? What do you hunt for?
All right, so fishing is kind of whatever's biting at the time. Family's always been going after panfish, so we'd go take the grandpa's john boat out, go to this little lake where nobody else could get on because there was no access, and we just catch crappies and sunnies all day. So, fishing wise, more into ice fishing than anything, but I like them both. And hunting, my family's very big into archery. So we do a lot of bow hunting. And that's been in my life for years. So bow hunting, we do deer, elk, bear, and then for shotgun rifle, grouse, duck, pheasant, stuff like that. So I got into the waterfowl hunting a little bit, ducks, geese, stuff like that. But I like upland bird and big game hunting the most. So.
Okay. Question 10. If you could be one superhero, who would it be and why?
I'd have to go Batman for sure. I think mostly it was just, cool stuff he got to play with. He had everything at his disposal no matter what. So let's go with Batman.
Okay. All right, question 11. If you had a Super Bowl party and you could invite one NFL player over to watch the Super Bowl with you from past or present, who would it be?
Ooh. You got to give me Randy Moss. Yep. I enjoyed watching him so much, and him being a Viking just made it all that much better. So, Randy Moss.
Okay, but here's my question on that now. Are you going to let him pass it around in the house?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
The wife will be fine with it, too. We're fine.
All right. Question 12. Who was the hardest puncher you've ever faced in the ring in a fight or sparring?
Ooh. I'd say Omaha, Nebraska, Nationals, 2007, Fernando Guerrero. Yeah, he hit me like no other. I still follow him a little bit. He's still out doing his thing. But, yeah, definitely the hardest puncher I ever came in contact with.
All right. You came to that answer pretty quick, too, so he must have hit you pretty hard to remember it like that.
He did. The best part about that fight was, I went in there, and we were going toe to toe. That's how I fought back in amateurs. And I knew right then and there that I can't go toe to toe with this guy. And he dropped me twice. They ended up calling the fight in the last round just because I had been knocked down so many times. And I went over to his corner afterwards, and they're just like, "You a crazy white boy. You a crazy white boy." You know, so I mean, it was kind of like hats off, you know. So it felt really good, and you know, I mean, he was a great fighter. I mean, he is a great fighter. So
Okay. Question 13. If you could box in a celebrity boxing match against any actor or athlete, who would you choose as your opponent?
ooh. What's that? Oh, that's a good one. I'd say Matthew McConaughey. I'd go with him.
Okay. All right. Question 14. If you could own any wild or exotic animal, what animal would you want to own?
Ooh. I mean, we have to go with the tiger. I mean, just something about it. Got to.
All right. Question 15. If you could have worked with any trainer in boxing, who would it have been?
I go back and forth to that too, but I mean, Freddie Roach. I mean, he was just fun to watch. You know, he didn't actually have to hold the mitts very, you know, very technical or nothing like that, but just the way he talked to some of his trainers, and I always watched him and Pacquiao. It was great.
Okay. Let's see. Question 16. What's one of your best memories from your boxing career?
I'd say meeting everybody, you know, just far and wide. The boxing family is just amazing, you know, and my fans from Fergus Falls in the close area, you know, they were just the best fans ever, and they would make the trips nonstop. So just going from town to town, city to city, state to state, you know, that's what made it so much, you know, it felt good all the time. So
Okay. Question 17. Who was your favorite opponent to fight?
I got a shot. Can I do two or just one?
Sure. No, that's fine.
All right. So back in the Region 4 days, Dwayne Stewart, me and him went toe to toe. I mean, every year we'd fight probably 4 to 5 times before Region 4 Upper Midwest Finals. You know, so especially that, and then the guy that I never was able to get by, Cericio Fort. Yep. we used to meet each other at the Upper Midwest and USA all the time, and he always got the upper hand just a bit, but it was a great time.
Now, both of those guys were in the amateurs now, but do you have an opponent that you fought in the pros that was a favorite?
You know, the one thing I regret the most is I didn't get as many pro fights as I would have liked to have gotten. Probably one of my memorable fights was against Charles Sir Meyer. We had a good time. Stephen Watt too. I mean, me and him went toe for toe. I was supposed to lose that fight, ended up winning. You know, just because the tools came to play. But yeah, I'd say those for sure.
Okay. Question 18. If you could have a conversation with one person in history, who would it be?
History as in dead?
Yeah. Anybody from history.
Gosh, it's a good one. There's so many. I'd have to go with Abe Lincoln. Absolutely.
Okay. Question 19. What is something that your boxing fans don't know about you?
Boxing fans don't know about me. Let's see. That's a good one. I'm like an open book, John. I don't know. I'll have to. That's a good one. I'm not sure.
Can't think of nothing.
This is a good one.
Something it can be something simple too.
All right. Probably the bet number one is I sing in the shower all the time. I hear my wife telling me to shut up a lot, but that's where I got to do it. You got to warm the vocals up. So yeah, singing in the.
Okay, last question. Question 20. If you could have dinner with any 4 athletes, alive or dead, who would they be?
4 athletes. I'm gonna go with Peyton Manning, number 1, just because I like it. I like his vibe. Muhammad Ali for sure. Got to go back to Sugar Ray Robinson. I think that would be good as well. And with Morgan Freeman.
Nice. Okay, well, listen, man, I hope you had fun with the random 20 questions. I appreciate you taking time to come on, and I'm sure your fans appreciate you coming on and having fun with it as well. If you got anything to say to your fans or anybody you want to give a shout out to, go ahead.
Yes. So, number 1, my fans, I mean, you guys stuck through me thick and thin. I appreciate the ride. It's been a hell of a ride for sure. I always say, in the back of my head, there's always that possibility of 1 more fight, 2 more fights, stuff like that. Not 100% sure with that, but, you can always stay tuned for that. And, a big shout out to my wife. She's been there through thick and thin, so I appreciate her much. Mom and dad, brother, the whole family, you guys have been awesome. So I appreciate it. John, I appreciate this as well. So thanks a lot, man.
All right, stay tuned, and the truth has spoken.